Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is actually exactly midnight Tuesday morning here. We just got back from the Gundies, but more importantly, we're expecting kind of perhaps a big announcement here at SHOT Show from your good friends over at the National Rifle Association. As you know, Mr. LaPierre had to step aside, a few little problems, and that's what happens when other people at the upper corporate level decide to turn state's evidence against you. And so while that lawsuit is ongoing, there appears to be some other shenanigans going on with who may replace Mr. LaPierre, and unfortunately it all dictates to possibly business as usual, which wouldn't bode well, really, for your National Rifle Association. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about NRA. What the hell are you doing? Okay, coming to you from the wee hours of the morning here in Las Vegas, we are talking about the National Rifle Association. Actually, what we are talking about is who is going to replace Mr. Wayne LaPierre after, of course, there has been many allegations and right now an ongoing lawsuit in which the NRA essentially has admitted to misappropriating funds. And when I say funds, I mean all of your hard-earned money which you gave to them through donations. Now, with Wayne aside, one would think that in this kind of a crossroads of a national organization now well over 150 years into their existence, that they would do a little bit of soul searching, maybe even use it as an opportunity to do some house cleaning, right? I mean, that's what any other self-respecting organization would do that's fallen so flat on their face recently, right? Well, apparently that's not the way the NRA intends on doing things. Now, we're going to be talking about a letter that came from Owen Buzz Mills, who is a person who's been on the board of directors for the National Rifle Association for a number of years. He's a very prominent gun club owner in the state of Arizona. And I should also point out, and this is important, that the source of all today's material comes from The Reload. If you guys aren't checking out thereload.com, do so. They are doing a fantastic job of keeping you up to date by the day of all the war that's going on with your inalienable rights. Well, apparently Mr. Mills, he's kind of seen enough, and he's written a rather terse letter to his colleagues on the board of directors, and, well, he hasn't minced words. The National Rifle Association of America is at a watershed moment in its 153rd year. Our leadership has admitted in courts and depositions to misappropriation of donors' funds and unauthorized use of assets. They have admitted condoning the misuse of donor funds by others employed by the NRA. The leadership has for years abused their position and trust placed in them by our members and benefactors. The board of directors is solely responsible for this victimization of the members. And as I mentioned earlier, one would think that what's going to happen is you'll bring in some outside counsel, you'll probably bring in some other independent individuals to come in and really do a restructuring and probably a big old house cleaning at the NRA, right? Oh no. Actually, you see, what they're about to do is it appears that they're about to appoint, with really no search committee, really nothing else going on, well, the individual who basically signed off on all of these misappropriations of donor funds. Now, according to the article on The Reload, the group's bylaws were amended to give Charles Cotton, who chaired the audit committee that approved, even sometimes retroactively, many of LaPierre's expenses at issue in the case, an extra term as NRA president. And so what's happening here is the very fox who was guarding the hen house may now be anointed president of the NRA. And this would be a grave move, and even if Mr. Cotton happens to be abundantly qualified, you know, the perception of reality oftentimes is more important than reality itself. And this would be a grave public relations disaster for the NRA, both on the outside and on the inside to their members. As a matter of fact, the bylaws were also amended so that they could have virtual meetings, and one does believe that a virtual meeting may take place this week in which Mr. Cotton will then be announced here at SHOT Show as Mr. LaPierre's successor. As Mr. Mills put in his very sharply worded letter, the selected leadership wants a special election to install the enabler and facilitator of all the previous chicanery. none other than our duly elected president. He is the man more responsible than any other for permitting our selected leadership to rampantly run roughshod over our membership and benefactors. As the chair of the audit committee for many years, Charles Cotton was responsible for holding our employees accountable and ensuring their conduct beyond reproach. Our chair and moral compass approved every single act of malfeasance brought to the committee for decades. Multiple acts approved retroactively months and years after the fact. Worse yet, Mr. Mills also pointed out, when restitution was mandated, a bonus was awarded to the miscreants, including enough money to pay restitution. This bonus also included enough for the miscreant to have the cash to pay the taxes on his misappropriation. And so the bottom line is that in their 153rd year, yes, the NRA is at a significant crossroads, and they have some choices to make, and the choices will determine the future of this organization. What many organizations would do after things exploded in your face as bad as it has for the NRA over the last few years is do a complete top-to-bottom autopsy of this company and probably do some restructuring and bring in some outside people who probably have much cleaner hands to restructure and reformulate what the NRA is moving forward. However, it appears that the very fox who was guarding the hen house is now going to be anointed king. We will keep you closely posted. Listen, we'll go ahead and link up the story from the reload down below so that you can geek out on it for yourself. In the meantime, if you guys get any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information is also contained down there in the description box. Now, in the meantime, let's remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.